Okay, so this is the fourth and final part of investigation 2, and we're going to try to find out a rule, if we can, for the side opposite the 60. So the first thing we need to do is get two sides so we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So we know if there's a 12, then we can divide it by 2 and make this 6. And then we can go 6 squared plus j squared using the Pythagorean theorem equals 12 squared. And you can verify some of these numbers here. But what I'm actually going to get is I'm going to get j equals, when I do my work, so I'm going to get j squared is going to equal 144 minus 36. And it turns out when you do that and you simplify the radical and do all that work, you're going to get j, equals 6 root 3. We don't want to do decimals because we won't see a pattern. So I'm going to write for j 6 root 3 there. Okay, now I'm going to erase the rest. We'll try the next one. Okay, so in the next one, this is the 60 degree angle, and we know the 4, so we just need the hypotenuse, which is going to be double it, which is 8. So now we can do the same thing. 4 squared plus k squared, according to the Pythagorean theorem, is equal to 8 squared. So that's going to be k squared equals 64 minus 16. And when you do all that simplifying, radicals and all that, you'll get k equals 4 root 3. So I'm going to write 4 root 3 there for k. So let's do the same thing now on number 9. Okay, so we know this is the 60 degree angle here. Okay, so we'd like to get m. And we know that the 5 is across from 30, so we need the hypotenuse, which is double. So we're going to get 5 squared plus m squared equals 10 squared. So we end up getting m squared equals 100 minus 25. So m, after all the work, equals 5 root 3. So you probably think you got a pattern now. So let's do that as well. And number 10 kind of throws you a curveball here. So let me clean this up. Okay, so in this case, we know the 60 degree angle is on number 10 is right there. But we don't know two of the sides. The irony is that we know this is n and it's across from 30, so the hypotenuse is double it, so we'll just call it 2n. And let's write our formula out here. We got n squared plus 8 root 3, make sure you put the 8 root 3 in parentheses, equals 2n, again put that all in parentheses because the whole thing is squared, the whole side is squared. So when we do this, we're going to get n squared plus 8 times 8 is 64, 64 times 3, and that's 64 times 3. What is that? 192 equals 4n squared. Okay, so now I need to get all the n squareds to one side. Subtract n squared. Do some work over here. And you get 192 equals 3n squared. So if I divide by 3, I'm going to get n squared equals 64. So that means n, we don't care about the negative square root, we only care about the positive for geometry, is 8. So we know this is 8 now. So that means 2n must be 16. Okay, let me clean it up and we'll do the next one, number 11. Okay, so the next one is pretty straightforward. It's very much like 7, 8, and 9. We know that the hypotenuse right here is opposite the 90 degrees, so that's the long one, so the short side has to be half of that. The short leg is right there, 50. So we get 50 squared plus p squared equals 100 squared. And when you do all the work, you're going to get p equals 50 root 3. And I think many of you have already seen the pattern. So I'm going to write 50 root 3. And then number 12 is very much like number 10. So I'll clean it up a bit and then we'll do that one as well. Okay, so the last one. Okay, we know S is right here. So this is going to be half S. Okay, I don't really like it that way, but I can deal with it. So I'm going to take half S all squared plus 2 root 3 all squared equals S. Okay, so a half S times a half S is a quarter S, or just S over 4. 2 root 3 times 2 root 3 is 2 times 2 is 4. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12 equals S. I don't really like dealing with that 4, so one way I could do it is go like this and multiply everything by 4. And that will get me S plus 48 equals 4S. Subtract. This is supposed to be S squared, I just noticed. So it's S squared minus S squared. 48 equals 3S squared. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And that will get us S squared equal to S. I'm going to reject that. S squared equals 16, which implied we only want the positive one. If you take the square root of both sides, S equals 4. So I'm going to write equals 4, and half of 4 is 2. And so you probably see the pattern here. If you haven't already, you probably have. I'll answer the next page on your notes. But basically, if you know the short side, the long leg, not the longest side, but the long leg is root 3. If you know the short leg, the long leg is the short leg root 3. The short leg times root 3 gives you the long leg. The short leg times root 3 gives you the long leg. The short leg times root 3 give you the long leg. So you may be bored of me saying that, but I can't say it enough. The short leg times root 3 gives you the long leg. And we already so that should give us a nice little rule.